Those of you struggling with grief, with loneliness, with depression, those of you who have any kind of mental illness, those of you who have DID, dissociative identity disorder, just like I had, or if you are a friend of someone who is struggling like that, these videos are for you. They are a chance to give you a little bit of hope that there is healing, to give you a little bit of what I did to get to the place I am. It will probably take me a few months to get through my story, but know that it was years. And I hope that somehow you don't compare your story with mine, but that you can pull out fragments of hope to give you strength to carry on. Like, one, never give up. Never give up. Keep looking for those people that can be in your corner. It took me a while, and I kept trying new places and new people until I found those who accepted and loved me as I was, and that I was able to trust, because that's a big, huge one. And when I was dealing with my emotions, there were different things I did to try to get them out. Dancing and writing and coloring and poetry. And I'm not very good at poetry, but I am good at writing stories. And so find what works for you. May you take from my story hope, the knowledge that you are not alone, that there are others that have walked this path before you. And so I hope that you understand that with this story. I'm just trying to bring other people hope to know that there is freedom that can happen. And also to teach you the things I learned. Communication was a major thing I learned. I had to, one, learn to communicate with the parts that were in my head. I had to be open to listening to them, and I had to try to actually stand up for them when they didn't have a voice. That was an interesting journey. The other thing is I had to learn to communicate to people, my friends, what I needed, and at the same time respect the fact that they were loving me and trying to help me the best they can. And I have an example for you. So right now, Jen is my only friend that knows about my diagnosis, and she's not going to tell anyone because she knows it's private for me. It's me if I feel like sharing it with them. And I have another friend who is a sweetheart. I've already mentioned her before, Karen, and she would send me messages all the time and just try to encourage me and love on me. And I remember one time she sent me a message and she was like praying to Father God, and the word Father did not resonate well with me. One, my dad was never around, and I had already lost him. He had taken his life. And so he was just gone. But I had a multitude of stepfathers, and they were not good. They were evil. And so the word father, associating God with father, was a very bad thing. Matter of fact, the red and black chair that I was terrified of that God's throne became belonged to one of my very first stepfather. And so I had to communicate to Karen that the word father was not an okay word for me. And at the same time, respect her and say, thank you so much for pouring your love out to me. And so I did. I wrote her back and I just said, thank you for loving me. Thank you for, praying for me and for these words of encouragement. But can I ask that we don't use the word father? I said, it evokes in me some very bad feelings, some very bad memories. I don't want to associate God as my father at this time. I'm in healing. I will get there. I even think I was okay with Abba. Abba was all right to call him father because it wasn't associated with the trauma or the little ones. And so as kindly as I could, I reached out and I spoke up for myself. And yet at the same time in kindness and love, and was like, is this okay? And she was very receptive to it and said, never thought of it like that. Thank you for letting me know. You know my heart. And I told her, I know your heart. I know your heart is to love me, but can we not use this word? And she respected that and didn't use that word again in reference to me. And it's like, so I was learning to take autonomy of myself. Maybe that's the wrong word. I don't know. But I love the fact that I had friends where I could communicate with that were open to it. And so I just encourage you, if you feel alone or if you're going through a hard time, know that there are people out there who care and you're not alone. Thanks for listening to my story. There's so much more to tell.